there friends and greetings. Welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to be making some dinner and some blueberry muffins for the freezer. So you might notice something new here. I have a mic. This took forever to even figure out how to use it. And then I realized I can't even connect it to my camera. So I have to hook it up to my phone, and then I have to transfer the audio over into my computer, and hopefully this will layer okay. So bear with me. I hope this works out for the best. If not, I'm just gonna have to use the audio from the camera and then eventually upgrade my camera. Why does everything cost money these days? I hate that so much. Anyway, so if you ever see me looking over here, it's just to make sure that my microphone is still recording because I'm using like an app to transfer it. All right, just getting that all out of the way. So what I'm gonna be making today is a salsa verde chicken casserole. I made this a long time ago and I completely forgot about it. So I need to get this up on my blog because whenever I tend to get into a dinner rut, I go to my blog and I'm like, okay, what can I make? And then that's where I pull my recipes from. So I need to get it up there because this is so good. I have the ingredients laid out right here. Let me show you everything that I have. So I did just go to Aldi, so I am gonna use some of these chicken breasts. I generally use about 2, but I think I'm gonna use 3 chicken breasts for this. A block of cream cheese, some salsa verde, some monterey or mozzarella cheese, whatever cheese you have in your fridge is perfect, some corn tortillas, some paprika, some cumin, and I usually just use garlic powder and onion powder, but because I went to Aldi and I have all the things, I might as well use them. So I have an onion right here and some garlic that I'm gonna chop up. And for the chicken, I am going to throw it into my Instant Pot right over here and shred it down just so that it's easier. So I'm gonna do that really quickly and add in a little bit of water as well to help it just cook. I'm really hoping that this microphone eliminates all the background noise and just makes the quality even better. That's what I'm hoping for, but I do think I'm gonna have to get a new camera. My camera is pretty old. I've been on YouTube for, I think it's been 5 years now. Oh my gosh, oh my goodness, that's crazy. 5 years, yeah, I'm definitely in need of a new camera. I don't even know if they make this one anymore. All right, so I'm gonna do 3 chicken breasts in here, and then the rest of these I'm going to freeze for another time. Okay, so then I'm going to just season these just with whatever, salt and pepper. I hope people are still using Instant Pots. Do you guys still use your Instant Pot? I think it's fantastic. I love it. And I'm going to do about almost a cup of water. You don't need too much. This always falls off though. I hate that part. This does need to be set to sealing. And we're going to do I think 10 minutes. Let's try 10 minutes. And then I think that should suffice, I think. Then I'm just going to shred it. And then everything else just comes together super fast. And just to kind of show you what I do to freeze everything, I take some saran wrap. So because I have 3 chicken breasts, I'm gonna lay out 3 large layers of saran wrap on my counter and then just wrap them really nice. I mentioned that I do this a lot with Winco, I'll buy a package of chicken. Sorry about that, guys. My memory card was completely filled up from things from winter. That's crazy. I never delete anything, I guess. Anyway, I think what I was saying was I buy the large chicken breasts from Winco usually, and then I wrap the breasts individually so that I can just add them to whatever I get from Costco. Because usually about 3 chicken breasts is perfect for us, sometimes 4, but at least I have them individually wrapped so I can add them to the Costco chicken that I get. Because the Costco chicken, it usually only has 2 chicken breasts in there. So I don't want to have to defrost a whole other package that contains 2 because that'll be too much. So I like doing this sometimes, but I just have not had the opportunity to make it to Winco. And it's not even that far away from me. It's maybe 15 minutes, if that, away, but I just prefer to go to Aldi or even have Walmart deliver it to me. It's just way easier. Okay, so I am just going to wrap these guys up really quickly. Okay, so you might be able to hear the chicken going. I'm going to start cutting up the corn tortillas. So I have about 8 here, and I'm just going to cut these into strips. So I cut them down the middle, and then I rotate it, and then I cut again in half, and then cut each half again. So you make 4 sections, just like that. Perfect. I'm gonna start cutting up the sweet onion. So guys, I mentioned in my Aldi haul that I was kind of gone for a while and everything was good. Everything was totally fine. It's just that I wanted to kind of spend some time with my family and not have to do like any type of posting or anything, because I had like this conviction. I was talking to a friend about this on Instagram that like I was busy like trying to plan out what I was gonna do here on my channel and then on my blog, instead of making plans for like hanging out with my kids during the summer. And when I thought that, I was like, oh no, that's probably not the best idea. So I ended up taking, I think it was like 5 weeks off just to hang out with my kids, do whatever we wanted to do, even if it was nothing, and just like hanging out here at the house. And it was honestly the best decision. So what I'm thinking is I might do that during the summertime. Not the whole summer, but at least like, you know, several weeks during the summer. Just to kind of just, you know, take a little breather, kind of refocus, and then come back into it. Because let me tell you, when I decided to start getting back in here, I was very excited, like so looking forward. I knew I was going to start whenever they started back at school. And so I was beyond happy to get back in here filming and whatnot. It is a lot of work. I'm trying to film, trying to edit and get things up, and while still trying to be, you know, a wife, a mom, and still working as well. So having that time was just absolutely wonderful. So because I'm doing this with using real garlic and real onions instead of the powdered stuff, I'm gonna obviously have to cook this down in a skillet. So I'm gonna use a skillet that I can stick into the oven, which I love my cast irons anyway, so that's what I'm gonna use. I'm just gonna have to make sure I use a pretty large one. So it probably means I'm gonna need to use some olive oil too, or avocado oil. So that was not included in the recipe picture that you saw at the beginning, but that's fine. All right, good enough. My chicken has 7 minutes left before I shred it. I'm gonna use some avocado oil in my skillet here and let that heat up for 1 second. Okay, so I'm gonna come in here with my onions. Give this a quick cook down. I'm coming in with my garlic here. Oh, I only got a few minutes left on my chicken, and I need to go in there and shred it. All right, so I'm gonna toss in the softened cream cheese block. Okay, the timer just went off on the chicken, so I'm just gonna let that come down, like release naturally, and then I will move the valve over if the pin hasn't dropped yet. But that's kind of melting down a little bit. I'm gonna add in the salsa verde. Got this from Trader Joe's. I definitely need to go to Trader Joe's again soon. Ooh, yum. Hopefully this isn't too spicy. I think I've tried this before. I don't think this is too spicy. Hopefully not. Otherwise my husband is gonna have some issues later. I'm gonna add in some paprika and some cumin. I'm also gonna do some salt and pepper. I found some frozen corn right now. I'm gonna just add it in here because I might as well just use a little bit of this, you know. I'm just gonna do like a cup. And then I'll save like the rest for another time. And then I'm gonna add in those corn tortilla strips. Now if I wanna make this even creamier, and I might need to just because I'm adding an extra chicken breast in here, I might add in some sour cream just in case. But I'll look at that after I add in the chicken. In goes the tortilla strips. I could probably do a couple more tortilla strips too, but again, I'm just gonna eyeball everything and I'll write it all out for you guys. All right, and now let me go shred that chicken really quick. You don't have to watch me do that. Cheese, yes. Forgot to add in the cheese. So I'm adding some of the cheese, then the rest I'll add on top. No, you can't eat all that cheese. I'm using some of it. You know, whenever I shred cheese around here, the masses come and eat it all. I always have to shred extra because I know this family. Shredded the chicken up. I had to get my husband up over here to help me just because it kind of hurts a little bit. So here we go. And then if I need to add in some more tortilla strips, I pulled a couple more. I haven't added them yet, but I'm just gonna see what's happening. And then also, if I want like more saucy, I'm gonna add sour cream. So we are currently on standby for that. You know, I really don't think I need more of anything. I think this is perfect. And I am gonna add some more cheese on the top before I bake it. So I think that's good. So I am just going to flatten this out a little bit. Turn the heat off. Forgot that was on. Some more cheese. All right, I'm gonna stick this in the oven, 350 for like 20 minutes. Friends, could you tell a difference in the audio? The very last half, whenever I was adding the cheese and whatnot, I actually forgot to press record. So maybe you could tell a difference between when I was using the mic and when I wasn't. Let me know if this sounds way better when I'm wearing a mic. I'm actually using it right now for the voiceover. Hopefully it does, because if not, I wasted my money. Anyway, this dish turned out really, really good. My kids really love it. I just serve it really simple with some tomatoes and some avocado. You can make like some rice on the side if you really want, but I just kept it really simple that day. And then right after dinner, I set out to make, I can't remember if I made this after dinner or before dinner. I needed to make some blueberry muffins for my freezer. And this is one of my absolute favorite recipes to have in my freezer because they not only freeze good, but they defrost very fast too. So this can make either a very quick breakfast idea, a quick like after school snack, or even as a dessert. And we are actually going to have it for dessert after dinner this particular night. Now when we mix it, yeah, we have to hold it.
I do that? Okay.
Nicely.
Okay. To not break?
Yes. Good job. I actually love that she knows why we have to fold the batter gently so as not to break the blueberries. I'm proud whenever they actually pick up on what I'm doing because, I mean, cooking and baking might sound just very simple and something easy that we all have to learn one day, but I mean, there is some technique to some of the things that goes into baking and into cooking, so if I can teach them that when they're young, I think we're doing okay here. So as far as these blueberry muffins go, again, you guys, these are one of my favorites. I tried to make it a copycat version of Starbucks. And if you don't know, I used to work at Starbucks for about like 7 years, I would say, maybe 7 or 8 years. And I absolutely loved it. If I had the opportunity, I would go back and work like a few shifts a week. In the morning, I was an opener. I used to work 4 to like 9 or 10, sometimes 8-hour shifts back in the day. But I loved it. I loved the social aspect of it. I really enjoyed making coffee, although I don't know if I would be very good these days, just with how crazy orders are. Hey friends, it is a new day. I'm going to start getting some dessert ready actually, and then dinner later because dinner should come quickly together. It's coconut shrimp, and thanks to you guys for giving me some ideas. I'll get into the dinner in a little bit, but because of my Aldi haul, you guys gave me a side dish to pair with the coconut shrimp because I rarely make it. It's been years since I made coconut shrimp, and I never know what to serve with it. You guys helped me out on the last video so much, so thank you. But for now, what I'm gonna be making for my old-fashioned apple fritter loaf, and no, you do not need to only make this in the fall. This is a year-round situation here. I actually had some apples that I needed to do something with. I could have made it into applesauce. I could have made my homemade applesauce bars, but honestly, the fritter loaf just sounded really good. So I have some apple, like about 1.5 apples that I diced up pretty nice. I'm gonna try something a little different this time. I'm gonna try to coat the apples in a little bit of flour before I incorporate it into the loaf mixture. So it's gonna be a little different from what my recipe says, but it's just something that I'm gonna test out here because sometimes I find that it's a little too moist, like around the apple edges. So I'm gonna put all of this together really fast. All right, I have everything laid out here. What I'm gonna do first though, is my oven's already preheated. Now I'm gonna use a loaf pan, but I think I've shared this before many times on my channel, but just to reiterate how important and cool this like tip is, you need to absolutely do this. So I have a fairly large piece of parchment paper that I'm going to ball up into a ball really quickly. I'm going to mute this just so it's not super loud for you guys. So now that it is all crumpled up, I'm gonna run this under the faucet for just a few minutes until everything is nice and damp. This is just a little bit damp, and now watch this in case you've never seen this before. I think this is so cool. I wish I knew about this so many years ago. So now all I'm going to do is place this right into the tin, and just like that, and it molds perfectly, like perfectly. And I'm just gonna set that aside while I make the loaf. So in a bowl, I'm gonna put my softened butter in here. All right, I'm just gonna beat this up just a little bit. All right, now I'm gonna add in the sugar. All right, that's pretty well combined. So now I'm gonna add in my 2 eggs.
Good job, Mom.
Thank you, ma'am. Now is the time for the vanilla extract. The buttermilk, which I made off camera. So this is just some whole milk with some white vinegar. Just so much cheaper. I remember always having to buy buttermilk and wasting like all of it when I was younger. In my younger days where I didn't know too much. Now I'm gonna add in all my dry ingredients. I got my flour ready. I remember when I got these serving spoons at Target, and I was thinking, what am I gonna do with like the 2-cup? And this is honestly my favorite tool right here. You need a 2-cup measuring cup. That is so helpful to have. All right, so I have the flour. I'll mix that in here in a second. I also wanna add in my baking powder. And guys, I have the salt out. I'm not gonna use it. I always forget, like, sometimes I don't add salt into my recipes because I feel like the salted butter is enough, personally. So I don't know, I never really add it. I don't know if that's just like the thing that people do, is just automatically add salt to everything they do, but I don't know. I feel like you don't necessarily need to for this one, especially if you're using salted butter. I don't know. Going on. All right, so added that. Oh, I need to add my cinnamon. So half a teaspoon of cinnamon in here. Now I'm gonna do the apple situation. So I have a bowl right here. I'm gonna add my apples to this little bowl. And then sprinkle it with like maybe half a tablespoon or so of flour. And I'm gonna see if this does anything. It may not do absolutely nothing at all, but I figured, you know what, just mess around with it and see if that helps. Pretty well incorporated, so I'm gonna add that in here. Going right into my prepared loaf pan. I'm telling you, you guys, you've got to try this little wet parchment paper trick. So now I'm gonna make the brown sugar like topping that goes over this. I'm just gonna reuse this bowl. There's a little bit of flour, it's not gonna hurt it. So a 1/4 cup of brown sugar that is packed, and then some cinnamon, a lot of cinnamon, 2 teaspoons. I'm gonna mix that all together. Okay, now I'm just gonna sprinkle this over the top, and then I'm gonna take a butter knife and kind of swirl the topping into the loaf. So kind of like this, like I'm making S's is what I'm doing. Like swirls, basically. And I'm gonna come back around and do it again. But that's it, you guys. It comes together very fast now. It's just gonna bake for about an hour or so. I pulled the apple fritter loaf out of the pan after like 15 to 20 minutes, and it's been cooling. So right now I'm gonna do a glaze over the top, because you know with apple fritters there's always a really lovely crispy glaze. So I have 2 tablespoons of milk in here, and I did warm it up in the microwave for about 20 seconds. And I'm going to add in a cup of powdered sugar. Now I'm just gonna drizzle this all over the top and the sides, and then we're leaving it in the parchment paper so that it doesn't create a huge mess all over my counter. And then we're just gonna let this sit until this hardens a little bit, and then we'll slice into it. I can't wait to see what that additional flour around the apples did to the loaf. So now that the loaf is over there chilling and cooling down, I'm gonna get started on some coconut shrimp for dinner. So you guys helped me out by saying making some fried rice. Well, I totally forgot that. I went to Trader Joe's and I bought some vegetable fried rice, so I don't have to make anything. I'm just gonna have to heat this up on the stove top, and then I have a like salad kit that I purchased like not a while ago, but a little bit ago, a few days ago, that I'm gonna use. And I'm thinking about using this too today and just getting this out of my fridge. I purchased this, I think at the same time I bought the vegetable fried rice. I thought these would kind of pair nicely. So I'm gonna bake these off first and then work on the coconut shrimp. So this says I need to start them at 400 and then stick it in there and then lower the heat to 350. Ooh, this is what it looks like. How many are in here? 8 pieces. Oh, these are cool. I like these. Then I have like a little like dipping sauce to go on the side of it that I can warm up. Okay, so it's 350, or sorry, 400 degrees. Then I have to lower the heat to 350 and bake them for 10 minutes on each side. So here we go. For the coconut shrimp, I think every recipe is pretty much the same. I'm gonna do eggs in one bowl, and then in another bowl I have some shredded coconut, some panko breadcrumbs, some flour, salt, and pepper. I still wanna know, does Aldi sell shredded coconut? Because I could not find it. My mom ended up getting me some coconut from Target. So let me know if I need to keep my eye out at Aldi next time. So in a bowl, I'm gonna add in some shredded coconut, some flour, some panko breadcrumbs, some salt, pepper here too. I'm just gonna kind of coat this like that. 2 eggs in the other bowl here. So here's my workstation. I have a cooling rack inside of a cookie sheet just to make sure it kind of aerates good, and then I'll spray the cookie sheet with some spray. And give these guys a quick little whisk. And I have about maybe 1.5 pounds or 2 pounds of the Argentinian shrimp from Costco. One at a time into the egg. Should probably use some tongs. It's all right. Make sure I mix this. And then into the coconut mixture onto the baking sheet. And I'm just gonna do this in fast mo. Here we go. Alrighty, this is all done. So I'm just gonna spray the top with some more of that olive oil or avocado spray. So a little bit just to help get it crispy, and into the oven it goes. Thank you, baby.
Give them more space for you.
Yeah, thank you. Here it is, the finished product. And then I have the rice on the stove, and I'll add that for the complete meal. I made some sauces. This is like a honey mustard sauce, and then this one is a like a honey mango or something. I found them in a cookbook. But these look really good. And these, you guys, oh my gosh, these, I've already tried one. They don't even need the dipping sauce. It comes with like a little soy sauce. I don't think we're gonna need it. They are fantastic. Oh my gosh.
They are. I love
Oh yeah, you tried them too, huh?
This shrimp dinner ended up being a major hit for my kids and also a major win for me because I was able to kind of clean out our freezer by using that rice and those vegetable bird's nests, which by the way, I highly recommend getting both of them next time you go to Trader Joe's. I need to go to Trader Joe's, hopefully within the next month or so. But in the meantime, this apple fritter loaf, you guys, I think I'm going to change the recipe up a little bit, and I am definitely going to recommend adding in the flour into the diced apples before adding it into the batter. I noticed it really did help keep it not from getting soggy around the edges of the apple, keeping it light and fluffy, and not all the apples sunk to the bottom of the loaf, which was really nice. So I hope you guys get to try this, and thank you guys so much for watching today's video. I really appreciate your support, and if you did like it, give it a thumbs up, and I hope to see you in the next video. Bye, friends.